There are only a couple of events each year in the off-campus student housing industry that bring all of the industry leaders together. The National Multifamily Housing Council's annual Student Housing Conference is the longest-running conference for the industry. 2023 marks the 20th year for this conference and is being held October 17th through the 19th at the MGM Grand Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. This is the premier event for student housing professionals, bringing together leaders from all facets of the sector, including owners and operators, investors, lenders, and university partners. The conference features the industry's best and brightest minds all at one event, delivering the knowledge, tools, programs, and connections necessary for leaders to shape their future success and the future of our industry. So who are some of the folks attending this year's conference? Let's meet one of them right now. Victoria and Willie, how are you guys doing? I hear you're going to Vegas.
Vegas, here we come. So excited.
Well, I'm excited to see you guys there. You know, the three of us are kind of in that conference circuit where, you know, we've got to go to a lot of different places. We've even stayed in Airbnbs together. But finally, we're going to be in Vegas.
I know.
Yes, indeed. It's about time.
Well, hey, really quick, I'm very aware of what you guys do at Empower PMC, and Willie. Not only are you a partner with Victoria at Empower PMC, but you're also the author of, I think, the only student housing book that's out there, the only book that's on student housing, which is Leasing 101. Thanks again for giving that to the industry a few years back. But hey, for those in the audience who don't know about Empower PMC, can you guys give a little bit of background both on yourselves as well as what it is, you know, kind of that 90-second elevator pitch on what it is that you guys do?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm Victoria. Empower is ultimately the #1 nationwide leasing firm, eliminating apartment vacancies one lease at a time. Our kind of driving force is multiplying leasing velocities on site. We have serviced over 9,000 units, over 30,000 beds, over 100 properties. We've worked with literally just about every management company, from Peak to Asset to Cardinal to CA Ventures. I mean, you name it, we've worked with them. So if you're in need of any leasing assistance, call the Leasing Assassins. That's who we are.
I can definitely attest to that. Not only do we, kind of work together in this capacity, but also, I've hired you guys for some of my clients in the past who, were trying to get something set up really quick, as far as a new lease up, or they needed to stabilize something really quick before going into a sale. And you guys knocked it out of the park every time. So I can attest to it. You guys are leasing assassins for sure. Well, hey, for the folks that may not have been to Vegas yet, and I'm always amazed at the number of people who haven't been to Vegas, especially for a conference. Anything that, I mean, you guys have been a few times, I believe. Anything that you would suggest to them?
Well, I used to live in California, so I've been to Vegas at least 10 times, and I will definitely recommend going to the Strip. I will definitely recommend hanging out at the casinos, but once you win a little something, just walk away. It's okay to just take your little earnings and walk away.
No, definitely. I think it's amazing. Every time I've been to Vegas, it's typically been with developers, and they're throwing and risking millions and millions of dollars, but you put them inside of a casino and they don't even want to put a coin in a slot machine. I think this crowd will probably be able to keep all the money in their pockets, but we'll see.
We'll see.
I would say we've been lied to once upon a time. What happens in Vegas does not always stay in Vegas, people. So don't go too crazy. Come back with your head on straight, and just have a good time. Go to Hell's Kitchen, enjoy a good meal. That's always fun, right? Vegas is a good time if you make it that way, but you could lose a lot of money. So I'm probably keep my quarters too.
Well, hey, outside of Vegas, obviously you guys have been to the NMHC conference before. Anything specific that you really like about this conference, or that you would suggest to audience members who this is going to be their first time going, or maybe they're looking at this trying to decide if they're going to go. What would you tell those folks?
So personally, for me, I love going to this conference because it gives me the opportunity to see people in person. Right? We travel all over the U.S. and everyone that we work with aren't necessarily in the same areas. So it gives me the opportunity to kind of put faces to names of people I've been working with, but honestly, the networking is the biggest thing. So if you're thinking about going, or if this is going to be your first time, I recommend you definitely go. And don't be shy. It's okay to come up to just about anybody and have any conversations with them. So definitely go and do not be afraid to approach anyone.
That's what always is great about any student housing conference, because the industry's so niche that if we don't know each other, we're trying to figure out who you are. So
Right.
it's probably best that you come up and introduce yourself.
I would kind of echo that. I mean, I love this. I love this conference, and the student housing specific conferences, because I mean, well, to digress a little bit, the last conference that we seen each other at West, I mean, we were out in Atlanta, and because it was such a huge conference, right, we had to put together our little luncheon and bring all our student housing people together just to kind of, you know, network and do the thing that we're going to be able to do at scale at this event. We had to kind of make an isolated situation just so that people can feel at home.
Yeah,
In the student housing space, the multifamily industry is huge. And to your point, it's such a niche part of the industry that it's always nice to be able to come together, network with each other, and you create a little bit of a family there, right? And to kind of echo what Victoria said, if you haven't been, you are missing out. You need to be there, and when you are there, don't hesitate to speak out. We're all there to do the same thing. We're all there to network. We're all there to talk, and see how we can help one another, or just meet another friendly face in the industry. So be there, be present, start a conversation. And a lot of the value that you're going to take from the event itself is going to start with what you're doing right now. Slide in people's DMs. If you know that they're going to the conference, send them a LinkedIn a direct message and just say, hey, you know what? I would love to grab you a coffee or something stronger. What's your drink of choice, right? And and gotta go from there. You're in Vegas. Have a good time.
well, fantastic. So I want to go back to one other thing that you guys were working on, because yes, you guys are the leasing assassins. You deploy yourselves or your team members to a property, and they put boots on the ground, and they really get things up and going as far as getting traffic in the door and closing on those leases. But we've talked in the past year that since the pandemic, so much of that touring process has been kind of goes back to a lot of things just happening after hours, or folks that are just wanting to do something in front of their computer, as opposed to um, you know going out and beating the concrete, so to speak, to
Yeah.
try to find an apartment community. And you guys were coming up with something really innovative to help with that. Can you talk a little bit about what that was?
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for bringing that up, Wes. I mean, I always like to say that availability is the best ability, right? And especially when it comes down to this leasing thing, what COVID taught us was a lot of people want to be met where they're at. And I mean, we couldn't necessarily get them in the leasing office, so we had to come up with creative ways to make self-guided tours, or everybody's walking around with an iPhone trying to give
Yeah.
like a virtual tour that way. Well, essentially now the goal is, what we're kind of bringing to the industry that we're excited about is called Empower.tour. Essentially taking all the nuances and all the kind of hurdles out of the leasing process, making it convenient not only for the agent, but making it convenient for the leaser as well, by putting all things leasing on a virtual video sharing platform, very similar to what we're talking on right now, or like a Zoom or a Google Meet, or Teams, anything like that, but all related to leasing, right? You're going to have your Matterport that we can click through and give basically a virtual tour that way. You're going to have self or like pre-recorded videos. You're going to have pictures, like pretty much everything that you would need to showcase the property on a video sharing platform. But the best part about it is we're not just going to give you the platform and expect you to know how to use it, right? Much like nobody's just going to give you a car and say, go drive, right? We're going to give you the vehicle and the license, because one of Empower's greatest like value propositions are, when you have us on site, not only are we going to lease up your property, but we train the team to be able to do what it is that we do best. With this platform, we're not just going to only show you that you have the platform and you can use it, but we want to be able to train you not only on how to lease, but how to optimize the platform to make it convenient for everybody in this leasing process, the leasing agent
Gotcha.
and the resident alike. So
Okay.
crazy exciting. We've already seen a lot of success with it. And now we're bringing it out to the industry to see how they can utilize it as well.
No, I'm glad you explained that, because I thought it was just something that you guys kind of brought with you as a tool in in your tool belt when you guys deploy. I didn't realize it was something that your clients can actually hold on to and use for themselves. Or are you guys also uh, offering that as a service completely independent from the on ground deployment that you do as well?
Yeah, Wes, we've been a little selfish up until this point, but Victoria twisted my arm. The people need it. No, so yes, it is a service that we're offering outside of the actual deployment that we're doing. But again, the training portion of it is non-negotiable. We don't want to just give the platform alone, because much like you can give somebody a Tesla, if they're a bad driver, they're still going to be a bad driver. We want to make sure that everybody knows how to lease and are very confident in their ability. So yes, they can buy it or they can access it, but we also want to train your staff to be able to use it.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, guys, I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys in Vegas, as I mentioned before. And if anybody else wants to, set up something with you beforehand, obviously they can go out, to LinkedIn and direct message you. But outside of that, if they want to set up a calendar appointment with you guys, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah. So to your point, Wes, LinkedIn is always a viable source. I just about live on there, but also I can actually give you our Calendly link. So basically, it can go ahead and they can set up a time
Oh,
um,
perfect. Yeah,
on
we'll
that
put that in the show
Calendly link.
notes.
Yeah, absolutely, and we can go from there.
Well, guys, thanks so much. I know that you guys are out and about now with your deployments, and Victoria's even in Ghana on a deployment
All
right now.
right.
So
On a different
you guys
continent.
have, you guys have escaped just the U.S., which is fantastic. So, well, guys, thanks so much, and we'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Thank you.
See you later, Wes.